Forgive the noise, there's a lot of activity upstairs. We're tearing Christmas down. A friend of ours has been struggling with transporting cable and cable management. This is what her bag looks like. I think we've all been there, right? Like, man, what am I going to do? This stuff is like a spaghetti incident. I'm going to show you how I wrap cables so I don't have this problem. And after that, I'm going to give you some tips on how to make your cable transport, setup, breakdown, and all that stuff a lot easier. Here, check this out. I recently did a setup that was a little out of the norm. I needed some different length cables than what I normally needed. So I threw this bag together and I thought we'd just open it up to see what was going on in here and check out some of these cables. This is a power cable. Here is an XLR, probably a 15-foot long XLR. What else is in here? Here's another extension cable. Another 15-foot long XLR. This is probably a 15 to 20-foot power cable. And then I just got some other cables in here. This one isn't wrapped beautifully, but yeah, it's not entangled with anything else. And then I have some loose cables here. So all these cables stay together in the bag, and the way they stay together so well is that I used some velcro on them. See this velcro? These are something that I picked up from NLFX Pro. I've gotten from other people before too. You can probably get them on Amazon. But basically what you have are these velcro pieces here. What they allow you to do is kind of wrap this velcro around the cable and it stays there. And then when you're ready to wrap the cable, you just simply wrap it up and velcro the cable together. Just for demonstration purposes, here's one of those 25 foot long AccuCable XLR audio cables that I have. It does not have a cable tie on it. As you can see, it's kind of a mess. So the first thing I'm going to want to do is kind of untangle it a little bit, or a lot, which could take time. I mean, initially you're going to want to untangle stuff. So here's our cable and our cable tie. What I'm going to do, I'm one-handed, so forgive my clumsiness here. So I'm going to wrap this around this cable, stick this little loop through here, right? Like so. And now we have a Velcro piece attached to this cable, and it should always be there. All right, now that we have the Velcro on here, I've laid the cable out on the floor so it's relatively straight and doesn't have a lot of kinks in it. We're going to attempt to wrap it. So first thing you want to do is find a nice loop. So you want the loop to be about that size. That's how big I want it to be anyway. So now let's go ahead and try to wrap this sucker. You see how I'm doing this? I'm kind of twisting it as I go. It's not going to be this hard every time. Once you kind of train your cable to do what you want it to do, it's going to be a lot easier. But initially, when you're working with a cable like this one that was all, you know, weird and kinked, it's going to take a little more patience to get it wrapped. And like I said, once it's trained, it's going to go a lot faster. So you see what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of going round and round and round, and keeping this loop as consistent as I can. And I'm going to try to do it with my fingers. Maybe twist with my fingers once in a while. If it wants to go a different way, give it a twist. So I'm doing it with my fingers here. I'm twisting. Twisting it to force it to go in the direction I want it to go in. And that's pretty good. I mean, perfect for some of you, no. But you know what? It's not going to get tangled in the bag as long as you take this piece of Velcro here, wrap it around the correct way, which is this way. And voila, there's our cable. It's not going to get tangled up in a bag with anything else. Now, some people wrap cables a lot different than I do, but that's how I'm able to do it. And I think most anyone can do it. Does it take a little time? Yeah. But I think the trick is to Figure out what cables you're going to need and what lengths you're going to need. Typically, like as a mobile DJ, I have a setup that I set up kind of the same way most of the time. I know what cables I need. I know I need two 15-foot XLRs. I know that I need two IEC power cables for my speakers. And I'm going to need like 3 extension cables, 2 short, 1 long. That sets everything up. Anything else like spare cables goes somewhere else. You can put them in a completely separate bag if you want to, and I think that's cool. But the way I do it is I put the cables that I'm not going to need, my spare cables, my extra long XLRs, my extra long extensions, my spare IECs, all that stuff, I put those at the bottom of my cable bag, wrapped up, and I don't touch them unless I need them. On the top, that's where I put the stuff that I absolutely need. So that's one method. Figure out what lengths you're going to need typically and keep those on top, wrapped up nice and neat so it's easy to access them. You use the same cables all the time. Put your spares on the bottom. You don't need to go excessive with spares as well. I don't believe that you need 5 extra long extension cords. Maybe you need 1 or 2. Do you need 5 extra IECs? I don't believe so. 1 is probably good. So don't go overkill with this stuff. Get an extra XLR and all that, but you don't have to go with complete crazy redundancies. I know a lot of people like to, and that's fine, but you don't have to do it, and it makes life a lot easier. Also, consider the cable brand you're using. I'm not advocating for expensive cables, but I'm also not advocating for cheap stuff. Somewhere in the middle, I think, is good. You want something reliable, and you want something that's not going to be difficult to wrap and transport. I have really good luck with Bespecco. If you can find Bespecco on Amazon, they're good cables. They tend to be tangle-free. I like that. They've got really good ends on them. I've never had a Bespecco cable fail me yet. Another nice option is AccuCable. AccuCable makes some great stuff. When it comes to XLR cables, you've got DMX and you've got audio. Your DMX cable is 110 ohms or something like that, and your audio cable, I don't know, it's somewhere between 40 and 75 ohms. They don't really rate those as much, but DMX cable is not audio cable. So make sure you have the right cable for the job you're doing. Don't use audio cable for DMX. Don't use a DMX cable for audio. That's just, I mean, you can at a pinch. You absolutely can at a pinch. And I've done it, but ideally that's not going to be the best bet for you. If you use audio cable in a DMX situation, you may get glitches because of the impedance. But yeah, I mean, don't get the super expensive stuff. No, don't do that. That's ridiculous. But there are really cool options out there. And I will say that there's a big box retailer out there that we all know. Their house brand is not good stuff. So don't do that. Maybe go to a mom and pop shop and see what they have to offer. See what they're selling and how much it is. Or alternately go on Amazon and take a look at things and look at the ratings as well. So just a few tips for you for your cable management. Sorry about the noise up there. They're busy putting everything away. We had a lot of Christmas out this year, and we've got the first warm day. It's 48 degrees here in January where we can actually go outside and do that. It's been super cold, and we're going to be like sub-zero tomorrow. But anyway, neither here nor there. Thank you so much for checking this video out. And if you could so kindly like, and if you haven't subscribed, please do it. It helps a lot. Leave a comment down here. Let me know if I'm nuts or if you agree, or did you learn something here or not? I don't know. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Practice and enjoy.